Hey, what's up, you guys? Listen, we have some great news coming in directly from the White House. Brittney Griner is free. I repeat, Brittney Griner is free from Russian custody. Now, just to let you know, President Biden has just said she is safe. She is on the plane and she is on her way home. You guys, this is not a drill. So much heavy stuff has been coming out in the news. Shanquilla Robinson's, the Ohio murders. It seems like sometimes like justice is never going to come. It's so satisfying and so beautiful when something that the internet and Twitter kept alive. You guys think about Brittney Griner. She had fallen out of the news cycle for a while. But the Biden administration did not let up. Now, listen, we're not going to get into politics. I don't care what side of the aisle you fall on. To me, this is a win for the Biden White House. Now, if only they could put that energy into clearing some student loans. But you know what? We'll take the wins when we get them. A win is a win is a win. Let's get into these details. Brittney will be exchanged for Russian arms trafficker Victor Bout, nicknamed the Merchant of Death. You exchanging them for people named after Nicolas Cage. Remember, what was it? The merchant of God, or the God of Death. I think that's what they call merchant arm dealers. Now, here's the thing off front. Russia grabbed Brittney, and because she was a basketball player, she was much loved. They thought that she would be very, very high profile to keep. It is not uncommon when you are dealing with governments that play by these rules. They try to nab anybody they can for any reason, put them in HE double hockey stick situations, and then hope that they can use them as leverage to get their people out. And you know what? I'm glad Biden listened to the pain of the family, listened to the pain of the American people, and said, fine, bring us Brittney. Again, this is fantastic. Now get this. She had been moved to a Russian penal colony nearly 300 miles from Moscow to serve her 9-year sentence for having a vape pen. Let this be a lesson to anybody. In America, CBD oil, weed, vapes, all that, if your prescription, it is not illegal. There are still a lot of countries that when you bring that stuff over, they are looking at it like you are literally season 1 of Narcos. Again, Brittney did nothing wrong. Brittney did not know. But again, first of all, I don't know why anybody's going to Russia right now with what's going on. But if you're going to any country, Cuba, there's a lot of countries that don't look at it like, oh, it's medicinal and I have a prescription. You're going to be sitting with that prescription in a jail cell. Again, Brittney found out the hard way. But the good thing is, everyone, please tell a friend, tell whoever that might have that. Do not bring that into any foreign countries. You're better off just trying to secure it overseas, because if it's legal overseas, there'll be ways that you can secure it also. Anyway, the White House, let's get into the report. The White House has secured the release of American basketball star Brittney Griner. President Joe Biden announced just a few minutes ago, confirming that the U.S. sent arms trafficker Victor Bout to Russia in exchange. Now, do you know what the funny thing is? I remember when President Biden had his state visit to Cambodia. It's actually pretty cute. Biden wore the traditional Cambodian formal wear. He was looking like a G, right? Looking like, what is it? Dark Brandon. Anyway, that's his code name. Anyway, I thought it was odd at the state dinner that they had, I think his name was Sergey. I might be mistaking the name, but it was somebody that at one time America tried to put sanctions on him because he said he was like Putin's right-hand man. I noticed in the pics that guy was there. He was at the Cambodian state dinner. And I remember reading it, okay, Cambodia is not an enemy of Russia. So, of course, anybody that is Russian can be at the dinner. But this guy was very, very high profile, right? Hold on, let me find out his name so I can tell the story right. Okay, don't ever doubt my memory, baby. I can keep a receipt even in his head. Yes. So who was there? His name is Sergey Lavrov, Lavrov. He The U.S. had accused him of helping start the Ukraine war. He was also there. His appearance came hours after Russian troops abandoned Kherson, right, a territory in the Ukraine. Now, I remember when when I read articles, I'm looking at the pictures and stuff, and I remember thinking, why is he there? The U.S. basically said he was persona non grata and said that he was one of the people that started the Ukraine war and tried to put sanctions on him. But then I thought, and this happens a lot. I know it's like, sounds like a John Grisham deal, but I remember thinking, are they trying to do informal negotiations for the Russian-Ukraine war? Are they negotiating something or other? You guys, again, this happened November 12th, that state dinner where they were both there. I have to think they were there not only to talk, but also as a neutral territory. If they talked in the U.S., if they wanted to, they could take that guy into custody. If they talked in Russia, well, who knows if Joe Biden would have even left, right? But by meeting in Cambodia, which technically is neutral ground, the U.S. can't arrest anybody in Cambodia, and Russia can't arrest anybody in Cambodia, even though I hope Joe Biden had people tasting his food, because Russia, not Russia, but Putin. I don't know what he does, but a lot of people have poison perfume, poison letters, arsenic. I'm just saying it's a neurochemical type of world over there. So I hope Joe Biden had taste testers. And anyway, today is now December 8th. Brittney Griner has been not only released, but they negotiated the release of someone too. It makes me think, was that the start? Was this the start of the talks to get her released? Say what you want about the Biden administration. They did it. Anyway, they said moments ago, standing together with her wife, Sherelle, in the Oval Office, I spoke with Brittney Griner. She's safe. She's on a plane. She's on her way home after months of being unjustly detained in Russia, held for intolerable circumstances. Held under intolerable circumstances. Vice President Kamala Harris and Sherelle Griner, who stood behind Biden during the announcement, were also in the room for his Oval Office call with Griner. Side note, are they going to let Kamala Harris start talking so she can be president in 2024? Because is Dark Brandon, aka Joe Biden, going to be able to make it? Not because he can't, I'm just saying. Anyway, the prison swap conducted at Abu Dhabi airport ends a brutal 10 months for Griner. She has gone through some mess. Who Russian authorities arrested in February for possession of a vape cartridge containing hash oil, that is CBD oil. She was sent, and I thought it was really sick at that time that a lot of people were blaming her for having a CBD vape pen. And I'm like, you guys are missing the plot. It could happen to anybody. It really could. Forget about CBD, whether you do that. What about if there's a prescription drug that you have, and even if it's a statin drug for like your heart, and you take it overseas and it's illegal? They were looking for someone. They were looking for anyone. They were looking for a high profile person, I think, because we have a bunch of Russian operatives in custody that they've been trying to get out for a minute. Anyway, right? She was sentenced in August to 9 years in prison and was recently sent to the penal colonies 300 miles outside of Moscow. I remember when that happened, I noticed a lot of people that were going hard for Kanye West. And I'm not bringing Kanye West in, but I'm bringing it in to say people that were going hard for Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, rappers, sports stars, all these people that's always like, yeah, we got to march. It was silent. But Twitter wasn't silent. YouTube wasn't silent. The constituency wasn't silent. And the Biden administration heard. You guys, we can get the same justice for Shanquilla. Start tagging the president. Start tagging the president of Mexico. Start tagging Kamala Harris. The same way we kept the heat up in the streets, we can keep it up for Shanquilla. Don't ever listen to anyone when they tell you to sit back and just let the investigation proceed. The last thing you want to do is be going up against an investigation that already closed its file. Anyway, Brittney is on the way to a medical facility in San Antonio for routine evaluation. I can't wait for a sit-down interview. The news is likely to be bittersweet for the family of Paul Whelan, a former U.S. Marine held in Russia since 2018 on unproven charges of espionage. Listen, sister said, I do not want to see him left behind again and have urged the U.S. government not to let the Russian Federation do that. Here's the thing. And we can, first of all, can we celebrate Brittney, but also the Whelan family? My heart goes out to them, any family that's experiencing this. Paul Whelan is a U.S. officer. Brittney was here's what I'm saying. They'll release Paul, but the White House is going to have to give up an even bigger fish. And it looks like right now they are not willing to do that. However, listen, Biden did say Whelan's family was given notice by the administration that he was not part of the deal. That must have been so crushing. He said this was not a choice in which American to bring home. Sadly, for totally illegitimate reasons, Russia is treating Paul's case differently than Brittney's. I think they're actually accusing Paul of being some type of member of espionage. Of course, we're denying it, but this is the pretense they're using for holding. Okay. And while we have not yet succeeded in securing Paul's release, we are not giving up. We are never giving up. Biden promised his administration would continue to push for Whelan's release. Again, super sad. And my heart goes out to that family to experience that. But thank God Brittney is on her way home. A win is a win. Was it a complete victory? No. But a win is a win is a win. The Biden administration worked for months to trade both Brittney and Whelan for bout, but the Russian position was that there could only be a one-for-one deal. Moscow wanted the U.S. to release a Russian spy in exchange for Whelan, but the American position has long been that it does not have such a person in custody. You know what? Sometimes America gets on my nerves because it gets on my nerves, but sometimes the audacity, you just have to chuckle. You have a Russian spy in custody, probably in Guantanamo or some neutral territory where you don't have to admit that you have him in custody. And they're like, yo, give us the spy back. And America's like, I don't know who you speak of. What spy are you talking about? No, I've never heard of that person. Can we have Brittney and Whelan back? And I know Russia was looking like, here they go again. Anyway, the Russians then asked for another person who was in German custody. Okay, Russia's playing. We can put a good word in, but Russia, we cannot make Germany release somebody, and you know we can't. You're playing. Anyway, asked about the Russian stance on Sunday, Blinken told CBS on Face the Nation that the other side gets a vote in this. It's not just what we want. It's what they're prepared to do. Exactly. We can put a good word in, but we cannot make Germany do something. Even if we decide to start a war with Germany, Germany still can be like, and we're still not doing it. Russia, you literally were putting 20 on 10. The Biden administration hoped to secure Brittney's release by Christmas, and they did it. A U.S. official said Brittney is expected to be stateside within the next 24 hours. Biden previously indicated an openness to discuss a prisoner exchange directly with Russian President Vladimir Putin, but the Kremlin boss never agreed to such a conversation. I've heard, and I don't know if this is just rumors or not, because here's the thing. People that follow political news know it's just as messy as the gossip game. They put out fake rumors. They put out shade pieces. They put out hit pieces. The last thing that I did hear was that Putin had fallen downstairs and lost control and soiled himself, and that he was growing sicker and sicker. We don't know if that's true because, again, if you know, you know. If you follow political news, if you follow international history, if you follow international news, you know that the news game, even though people think it's super legit, and it is, there's some legit reporters that investigate, that it is, when there's a lot of shade involved, it's just as dirty as the gossip game. Anyway, Brittney is now the second U.S. hostage returned to American authorities since Russia invaded Ukraine on February 21st. Trevor Reed, a former Marine imprisoned for nearly 1,000 days, was released in April. Brittney Griner, speaking after Biden, said she and Brittney will advocate for Americans wrongly detained abroad, including Paul Whelan. That's right. That's right. You got to love that spirit where just because you get what you want and you get your happiness, you still remember your pain and have empathy for others, and you reach back and try to pull everyone across. You guys, woo! Those prayer circles worked. Tell our grannies those prayer circles work. Congratulations to the Griner family, the Whelan family. Please keep faith. Your time is coming. And with so much darkness going on right now, a win is a win. But I am saying one thing we can learn from this. Please tag the Biden administration on every social media network you can. Please tag the VP, the Department of State, the FBI, on Mexico. Please tag everybody you can, because the more noise we make, The more we talk, the more we gossip, the more we do all that, the more mainstream media is willing to pick it up. Not because they care, just because they're like, oh, people care about that. Let's talk about that. Mainstream media follows the people. They look at stories that already have healthy eyes on it, and they try to amplify it because it's good for them. It's good for business. Don't listen to people when they tell you to stop talking, to wait for the investigation to give over. No, the Department of State were the first ones that told us and insisted it was alcohol poisoning. And Mexico had to be the ones to be like, it was not alcohol poisoning. Okay, we're investigating it. Everybody wants the best for Shanquilla's family, or if any travesty that you feel is not getting enough attention, raise your voice. Don't put your faith in the authorities until the authorities bring you the win you want. I will say one thing. This is a win for the Biden administration. This is a win. Anyway, y'all, I'll talk to you later. Bye.